Thank you, Mary. And what I have to do so often these days, I'm going to do again. I will introduce you to Lee Zeldin's tracker, who...
I'm not Lee Zeldin's tracker, by the way.
Who makes... Call him what you like. But, there's no one else who's
Just put it this way,
interested in listening to me talk
a tracker.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to show up on the Nature Channel. Anyhow, he follows me around and films me saying things and talking to people, and I have no idea what they do with it. But anyway, hopefully what it does do is help Mr. Zeldin understand just how important it is to the people in District 1, New York, that we make sure that Social Security is safeguarded, that we make sure that Medicare is safeguarded, that we make sure that working families in District 1, New York can actually afford to live here, raise families here, find a place to live that is affordable, and where we can also make sure that there is access to early childhood education for every kid who wants it and needs it, which is every kid in the district and every kid in the country. When we talk about income inequality and when we talk about the great divide between the 1%ers and the rest of us, the number one thing that we have to start looking at are things like access to early childhood education that's there. Some of you know that my background is in education. I was part of putting together a school where we made sure that there was access to early childhood education in a district where there wasn't any. And then when I ran the Child Care Center, we got the Head Start program going there. Now, Mr. Zeldin has voted to defund Head Start and programs like that. And I don't think I need to convince very many people that that is not the American way of life. It is not the kind of representation that we are looking for when we're talking about the day-to-day working families, working people that make up our district and make up our country. Then we can talk about things like gun safety and a deplorable, I hate to say it, record on gun safety, because it is. You know, when we are talking about parents and kids that go to school today and are worried about their safety in a way that was not reality years ago, and where we are one of the few industrialized countries in the world that doesn't make sure that, you know, high caliber, these large magazine weapons are not available on the day-to-day market to people. And where people that are on the terrorist watch list that can't fly commercially but can buy weapons. And where people who have a criminal record or a record of mental illness are not being prevented from buying the kind of guns that do great damage to people and to our kids. Some of you, if not all of you, know that I had the great honor of serving the town of Southampton for 8 years, and it really was an honor, and I loved my job. I really did. I loved my job, and I loved being able to be out there amongst people and being able to solve day-to-day problems and have an open door policy that allowed people to come in and speak to me whenever they wanted to about whatever they wanted to. And that's the kind of representation that I think we all want in Congress too. And I think we want someone who does what I did, where I was the only one without an R next to my name who got elected when I first got elected on the town board in 2007. And the only way I was going to get work done was to make sure that everyone worked together. And that's what I did. I reached across the aisles and I got people to work together. And as many of you know, it was all over the papers. You've heard me talk about it before, but we had a financial house that was in complete disarray. Runaway spending, commingling of funds, budgets that hadn't been balanced for years, and deficits that were just part of the day-to-day budgeting practice there. Now, a lot of that goes on in the federal budget too. There's a lot of wasteful spending, a lot of spending that should be relooked at, books that should be balanced, and an ability to put funds to where it really matters and where effective programs are put into place, such as early childhood education. And these are the things that I fought for pretty much my entire life, certainly my adult life. And I can just tell you that for me to be able to do this, and when my oldest son said to me, when I had to make the decision of whether to run for supervisor again or do this, and several people saying to me, you gotta do it, and my oldest son said to me, Mom, your whole life has been about these issues. How can you not do this? We need you to do this. My generation needs you to do this. Mm-hmm. And when the 3 siblings agreed and said, you gotta do this, Mom, you know, my kids are a classic example of kids who are, you know, saddled with college debt, who are out there navigating the healthcare markets, navigating a new economy, getting jobs, and trying to find a place to live that's affordable. And Long Island is not offering them that today. And that's a terrible, terrible reality. And so many of these great young staffers of mine that are out there working every day. Why? Because they know that we are on the right side of making sure that we are going to fix the college debt issue. We're going to make sure that there are venues for affordable college education, that there are ways to make sure that people that need further education can access it, and right here on Long Island. We have lots of great educational institutions here. We have to make sure that they work for us. We've got to make sure that mass transportation works for us. And we've got to make sure that we have regional plans to deal with housing issues, not to mention climate issues. Lee Zeldin is a climate change denier. Do we live and legislate on Long Island? Did I miss something? In my 6 years as town supervisor, we had 5 named storms. Scientists every day tell us this is climate change today. And if government does not take control of this issue and start to deal with it, not only is it going to overwhelm us, but it will overwhelm us financially. And as taxpayers, it's going to fall on everyone's backs. So this isn't only an environmental issue, it is a financial and economics issue. So I heeded my son's advice and decided to get into this race. I feel hugely honored to be doing what I'm doing. I really do. It really is an honor to be doing this. It's a huge responsibility too, because I know that each and every one of you are counting on me to make sure that we do the work, we get the message out there, and make sure that we win the seat back, and that good representation comes back to District 1 New York. The kind of representation that families like ours are counting on. But I can't do it without all of you. And I really, really mean that. This is a district where the ground game is #1. Calling people, knocking on their door, putting signs, you know, in your front yard, all of that, and making sure people know that there's a real choice in this election. Because there is an ocean between Lee Zeldin and myself in terms of where we stand on all of these issues. But I will represent you the way my track record has proven I do in my 8 years at Town Hall. My door will be open, I will pick up the phone, and I will be accessible to all of you. And I will make sure that there is no issue too small or too big that I'm not there to represent you on. That's what I promised. So again, I want to thank all of you for coming out. This is our Riverhead headquarters, and we invite all of you to join us. We're making lots of calls, we're going out and knocking on doors and reaching lots of people, and there's a lot of excitement about this race. And again, lots of issues to talk to people about, and would love you to join the effort. It's kind of fun, it really is. And people really enjoy talking about these things if you get them on the phone or get them at the door. I have a great staff that would love to work with all of you. So we welcome you and thank you for joining us and joining us here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I need bumper stickers and yard signs.
Voila, right there,
Okay, good.
right there, yeah.
I'm just gonna say that one issue that is like unbelievable to me, that Congress has not funded research for Zika is unbelievable to me.
Well, there again is the difference between Mr. Zeldin and myself. He thought it was just fine to go home and take a long recess for summer without addressing that issue. Unacceptable, unacceptable. I will stay until the job gets done. Who else gets vacation like that? Yeah, so Andrew, you want to introduce everyone who's here? John is over there, Candace left.